Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to talk about something that many wonder about. How can you tell if a man is truly serious about a woman? We live in a world full of mixed signals, ghosting, and fast-paced dating, and it's more important than ever to recognize genuine intentions from fleeting interest. So here it is: 7 signs a man is serious about a woman. If you see these, you're not dealing with a game player, you're dealing with someone real. When a man is serious about a woman, one of the most powerful indicators is his consistency. It's something that can't be faked over time. In the beginning stages of a relationship, many people can be charming, attentive, and seem genuinely interested. But consistency is what separates a momentary interest from true commitment. A man who is serious will show up in ways that are steady and reliable, not just when it's convenient, not only when he's in the mood, and definitely not only when he wants something in return. He shows up because he genuinely cares, because you matter to him, and because he's not playing games. You don't find yourself staring at your phone wondering why he hasn't replied for 2 days. You're not going through the mental gymnastics of decoding mixed signals or trying to figure out where you stand. Because when a man is serious, he removes the guesswork. His actions align with his words, and he doesn't make promises that he can't keep. If he says he'll call, he calls. If he says he wants to see you, he makes the effort to make it happen. You don't need to chase him, remind him, or beg for his time. He offers it freely because he genuinely enjoys being with you and wants to build something meaningful. Consistency isn't just about frequency. It's about emotional steadiness. A serious man doesn't give you affection one day and act cold the next. He doesn't treat you like a queen when you're alone and ignore you when others are around. He maintains a level of respect, care, and emotional openness that doesn't fluctuate based on his mood, his stress levels, or his convenience. He doesn't withdraw when things get a little complicated or uncomfortable. Instead, he remains grounded and present, even when life throws challenges his way. The reason consistency is such a powerful sign of seriousness is because it's rooted in emotional maturity. It takes a mature, self-aware person to be steady in their behavior, especially when feelings intensify or external pressures rise. A man who is serious about a woman doesn't let those pressures dictate how he treats her. He understands that relationships require effort and intention, not just attraction or chemistry. He puts in that effort because he sees the value in what he's building, and he respects the woman he's building it with. And let's be clear, consistency isn't about being perfect. Everyone has off days, but a serious man doesn't let those off days define his behavior. He might have a busy schedule, a rough moment, or even mess up once in a while, but he communicates through it. He makes the time, he explains, he reassures. Because he's not just trying to keep your attention. He's trying to earn your trust. And trust is built on the small, everyday things. Showing up when he says he will, responding with honesty, treating you with care even when he's tired, and thinking of you not just when he's bored, but because you're genuinely on his mind. When a man is serious, his consistency gives you a sense of emotional safety. You don't feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. You're not constantly overanalyzing his tone, his words, or his silences. You feel grounded, calm, and connected. That kind of consistency builds a foundation where intimacy can grow, because real love doesn't live in drama and uncertainty. It lives in stability, in truth, in presence. So if you're ever unsure about a man's intentions, look past the sweet talk and the romantic gestures. Look at how he shows up. Look at the pattern of his behavior. Is he there even when it's inconvenient? Does he follow through even when it's hard? Is he steady in his care for you? If the answer is yes, you're not just dealing with a man who's interested. You're dealing with a man who's serious. When a man is serious about a woman, he doesn't treat her like an option. He makes her a priority. This is one of the clearest and most powerful signs of genuine interest and emotional investment. In a world where people are constantly distracted, where communication is fast but often shallow, where attention can be fleeting. Prioritizing someone takes real intention. A man who is serious doesn't just squeeze you into his life when he has nothing better to do. He intentionally creates space for you because your presence in his life matters deeply to him. It shows in the way he organizes his time. He's not always too busy or unavailable with vague excuses. Even when life gets hectic, he makes an effort to stay connected. He checks in, he makes plans, he follows through. You're not an afterthought in his day, something he gets around to once everything else is done. You're someone he wants to include in his schedule, not someone he pushes to the sidelines. And it's not about grand romantic gestures or elaborate surprises. It's about the small, consistent ways he shows that you matter. Making you a priority means more than just spending time with you. It's about emotional presence. When he's with you, not distracted by his phone, not halfway in the conversation, not thinking about other things. He listens, he pays attention, he remembers the little things you say and brings them up later. That level of attentiveness doesn't come from obligation. It comes from care. A serious man is invested in your world, your feelings, your goals, and your well-being. When a man makes a woman a priority, he also includes her in his life decisions. He doesn't just think about what's best for him. He thinks about what's best for both of you. If he's making plans for the weekend, he considers what you'd like. If he's thinking about a career move or relocating, he talks to you about it, not after the fact, but while he's still in the process of deciding. He values your input and sees you as a teammate, not just someone along for the ride. This kind of partnership mindset doesn't come from someone who's just looking for company. It comes from someone who wants to build a future. You also won't find yourself constantly wondering where you stand. A man who is serious about you doesn't keep you in a state of confusion. He doesn't show up one day and disappear the next. He doesn't blow hot and cold. He is clear in his intentions, and more importantly, he acts on them. When someone is truly invested in you, you feel secure, not because he says all the right things, but because his actions make it impossible to doubt his feelings. In contrast, someone who treats you like an option will only show up when it suits them. They'll keep you at arm's length emotionally, giving just enough to keep you hanging on, but never enough to feel truly chosen. You'll constantly feel like you're trying to earn their time, their attention, or their love. That's not love. That's someone keeping their options open while you're investing your heart. A man who is serious about a woman does the opposite. He makes her feel valued, not just with words, but with time, with effort, and with consistent presence. He doesn't leave her wondering if she's good enough. He shows her, through his actions, that she is more than enough and that she holds a meaningful place in his life. Ultimately, when you are a priority to someone, you feel it. It doesn't require overthinking, decoding, or constant reassurance. It feels natural, solid, and safe, because when a man is serious, he doesn't just want to have you in his life, he wants to keep you there. And he's willing to do what it takes to make sure you know it. When a man is serious about a woman, one of the most telling signs is that he talks about the future, and he includes her in it. This doesn't mean he proposes after 2 dates or starts planning a wedding too soon, but rather that his thoughts, conversations, and decisions naturally begin to reflect a long-term vision that involves her. The future becomes something he's not only thinking about for himself, but something he sees with her in it. It becomes part of his language, his planning, and even his dreams. This kind of future-focused behavior shows up in the way he speaks. He starts to use words like we instead of just I. He doesn't just say, I want to travel next year. He says, we should go to that place you mentioned next summer. That subtle shift might seem small, but it's powerful. It means he's not just thinking about himself anymore. He's starting to think in terms of a team. You're not just someone in his present. You're someone he's envisioning in his life months or even years down the line. And it's not only about vacations or big life changes. It can be found in the small things too. Maybe he asks how certain decisions might affect you. Maybe he wants to know what your goals are for the next few years, so he can align his plans with yours. Maybe he starts talking about where the relationship is going, not because he feels pressured, but because he genuinely wants to make sure you're on the same page. A man who is serious doesn't shy away from those conversations. He welcomes them, even initiates them, because he knows that building something lasting requires communication, alignment, and shared vision. He also begins to factor you into his long-term goals. If he's considering a career change, moving to a new city, or taking on a new responsibility, he wants to know what you think. He doesn't just inform you, he involves you. Your opinion matters to him because he respects you, and because any decision he makes now has the potential to impact both of your lives. That level of consideration is a strong indicator that he's not just thinking in the short term. He's seriously thinking about how to grow together, not just individually. Another powerful aspect of this sign is his openness about commitment. He's not vague or evasive when the topic of the future comes up. You don't hear, "Let's just see where this goes," a month after month with no deeper intention behind it. Instead, there's clarity. He may not have everything figured out, and that's okay, but he's clear about wanting you there. And that kind of clarity doesn't come from someone who's unsure. It comes from someone who sees your value and is ready to invest in something deeper. Being included in a man's vision of the future also brings a feeling of emotional security. You no longer feel like you're walking on eggshells trying to avoid scaring him off by asking where things are going. You feel grounded because he's not just reacting to the relationship, he's actively shaping it. That level of initiative and intentionality is a true sign of maturity and seriousness. Ultimately, when a man talks about the future and puts you in the picture, he's doing more than just making plans. He's making a statement. He's saying, "I see you not just as someone I care about now, but someone I want to keep building with." He's choosing you not just for the moment, but for the journey ahead. And that is one of the clearest, most heartfelt signs that he's truly serious about you. When a man is serious about a woman, one of the most meaningful things he does is introduce her to the important people in his life. This isn't just about formality or checking off some relationship milestone. It's a powerful gesture that reflects how he truly feels about her. When a man brings a woman into his inner circle, he's essentially saying, "You matter to me, and I want the people who matter to me to know you." It's a clear sign that he sees her as someone who's going to be in his life for the long haul. Introducing a woman to his friends and family means that he's no longer keeping the relationship in a private, isolated bubble. He's opening up his world and inviting her into it. That takes vulnerability and intention. It shows that he's not just dating casually or playing games. He's making space for her in his life, not just emotionally, but socially as well. It means he's proud to be with her. He's not hiding her. He's not waiting for the right time. Forever, he's excited to share his relationship with the people he loves. It also shows a level of confidence in the relationship. A man who's unsure of his feelings or who's not planning to stick around long term will usually avoid merging his personal and romantic worlds. He'll keep the woman he's dating separate from his family dinners, group hangouts, and meaningful life events. But a man who's serious has nothing to hide. He wants his partner to know where he comes from, who shaped him, and who's important to him. And he wants her to feel welcomed and included in that space. The way he introduces her also says a lot. It's not just a casual mention or a vague, "This is someone I've been seeing." A serious man introduces his woman with pride and clarity. He makes it known that she's someone special. He might call her his girlfriend, his partner, or even just say, "This is the woman I've been telling you about." The point is, He labels the relationship in a way that removes confusion. He's not hesitant or dismissive. He's clear and respectful. Bringing her around his people is also a way of integrating lives. It allows her to get a deeper understanding of him, to see the environment he grew up in, the friends he's chosen, and the family values that influence him. It's a window into his world, and if he's serious, he wants her to have access to that. He's not afraid of blending his social life with his romantic one. In fact, he welcomes it, because he's thinking about building a life that includes her in every area. What's even more significant is how he responds to the interaction afterward. He cares about whether she felt comfortable, whether she connected with the people she met, and what she thought of the experience. He wants her to feel like she belongs, not like an outsider looking in. That consideration reveals emotional investment. He's not just introducing her out of obligation. He genuinely wants her to be embraced by the people he loves. And when those people begin to treat her like one of their own, when his best friend invites her out, or his mom calls just to say hi, that's when the relationship moves into a deeper, more serious phase. It's no longer just about two people, it's about two lives slowly merging. That level of inclusion brings with it a sense of real partnership. It builds a foundation of connection, not just between two individuals, but between entire communities. Ultimately, when a man introduces a woman to his world, he's showing her that she's not just a temporary chapter. She's becoming part of the story. And for many women, that moment speaks louder than any romantic words ever could. When a man is serious about a woman, he supports her goals and ambitions with genuine enthusiasm and consistent encouragement. He doesn't just tolerate her dreams, he becomes one of her biggest cheerleaders. This kind of support goes far beyond simple compliments or surface-level interest. It's about being emotionally invested in her growth, wanting to see her succeed, and actively standing beside her as she pursues her passions, career, or personal goals. A serious man understands that love isn't just about being present in the good times. It's also about lifting each other up and helping one another reach new heights. Support shows up in both words and actions. A man who is serious about you will listen when you talk about your dreams, even the wild ones. He won't dismiss your ideas or make you feel like you're aiming too high. Instead, he'll ask thoughtful questions, offer advice when you want it, and provide encouragement when you need it most. He sees your ambition not as a threat, but as something inspiring. He's proud of your determination, and he wants to be a part of your journey, not by controlling it, but by being the kind of partner who helps you thrive. You'll notice that he remembers the things that are important to you. If you have a big exam, a job interview, or a presentation, he'll check in beforehand to wish you luck and follow up afterward to see how it went. He celebrates your wins, big or small, with sincerity, because your happiness and progress matter to him, and when things don't go as planned, he's there too. He doesn't disappear when the going gets tough. Instead, he's right there beside you, offering reassurance, strength, and kindness. A serious man doesn't feel the need to compete with you or overshadow your accomplishments. In fact, he's the kind of person who shines light on your strengths. He recognizes that a strong, passionate, driven woman isn't something to fear, it's something to admire. He feels secure enough in himself that your growth doesn't intimidate him, it inspires him. There's no ego battle, no need to one-up each other, just mutual respect and shared ambition. This kind of support often translates into practical ways too. Maybe he helps you study, watches the kids so you can work on a project, or connects you with someone in his network who might help advance your career. Maybe he gives you honest feedback, helps you manage your time, or just provides a calm space for you to focus. These might seem like small things, but they speak volumes. They show that he's not just watching from the sidelines, he's walking beside you, doing what he can to help you succeed. In a healthy, serious relationship, both partners grow, individually and together. A serious man knows this, and he wants to be part of your evolution. He doesn't try to dim your light or slow you down. On the contrary, he wants you to become everything you're capable of being because he sees your potential as something beautiful. He believes in you, sometimes even more than you believe in yourself. There's also a deeper level of emotional safety that comes from this kind of support. When you know your partner has your back, you feel braver. You feel freer to take risks, to dream bigger, to push yourself. You don't have to choose between love and ambition. You can have both. That's what a serious man offers. Not just love, but partnership. Not just presence, but purpose. He's not here to hold you back. He's here to help you fly. And that kind of support is one of the clearest signs that his love is real, grounded, and meant to last. When a man is serious about a woman, he puts in consistent effort, not just at the beginning of the relationship when everything is new and exciting, but every single day. This consistency becomes the foundation of trust, love, and emotional security. It's easy to say the right things or make a good impression early on, but a man who is truly invested shows his seriousness through his actions over time. His love doesn't fade when the initial spark settles. Instead, it deepens through steady, intentional effort. Consistency means he shows up for you, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. He doesn't disappear for days or only reach out when it's convenient. You don't have to guess how he feels because his actions speak clearly and repeatedly. He texts you not just out of habit, but because he wants to connect. He makes plans, follows through, and sticks to his word. You're never left wondering if he meant what he said. He proves it with behavior that aligns with his words. That alignment between word and action is one of the most powerful signs of seriousness. You'll also notice that his effort doesn't come in waves. He doesn't treat you wonderfully one week and coldly the next. There's no emotional roller coaster, no hot and cold treatment. His attention is steady. His care is reliable, and this kind of consistency brings a sense of calm and security into the relationship. You don't feel like you're chasing him, trying to hold his interest, or waiting for him to decide if he's really in this. You know where you stand because he shows you daily. Effort also shows up in the small things. A serious man notices what makes you smile, and he tries to bring more of that into your life. He pays attention to your likes and dislikes, your moods, your worries, and your needs. Maybe he brings you your favorite snack after a long day. Maybe he sends a kind message just when you need it. Maybe he simply listens, really listens, when you talk about your day. These gestures might seem minor, but they create a powerful emotional connection. They say, "I care and I'm paying attention." When challenges arise, his effort doesn't disappear, it increases. A man who's truly committed doesn't run at the first sign of conflict. He's willing to work through misunderstandings, to have uncomfortable conversations, to grow alongside you. He doesn't give up when things get hard because he values the relationship too much to let it fall apart. He's not only there for the fun moments, he's there when things are messy, uncertain, or tough. That kind of resilience only comes from someone who sees a future with you. Another aspect of consistent effort is how he invests in you, not just the relationship. He's interested in your happiness, your goals, and your personal growth. He doesn't just try to keep you, he wants to keep you thriving. He checks in with how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. He supports you, uplifts you, and respects you as an individual, not just as his partner. That's because his love isn't selfish. He's not loving you for what you can give him. He's loving you for who you are. Effort doesn't always come with grand gestures. Often, it's found in the quiet, steady presence of a man who is there when he says he will be, who holds your hand when you're unsure, and who makes you feel like you are never alone in what you're facing. That kind of presence, that kind of effort, builds the kind of love that lasts. Because when a man is serious, he knows that love isn't just a feeling. It's something you do every single day, and he's committed to doing just that. When a man is serious about a woman, he is emotionally vulnerable with her. This vulnerability doesn't mean he is weak or overly sensitive. It means he feels safe enough with her to be real, to open up, and to show her the parts of himself he might not show to anyone else. In a world where men are often taught to hide their feelings, to be stoic, and to never show cracks in their armor, choosing to be emotionally honest with a woman is a powerful act of trust. It's his way of saying, "I trust you with my truth." Emotional vulnerability can show up in many different ways. It might be him sharing a painful experience from his past, or admitting that he's scared about something in the future. It could be as simple as expressing his affection honestly or telling her how much she means to him without feeling embarrassed or guarded. A serious man doesn't play emotional games or try to appear overly detached. He lets his guard down because he sees the relationship as a safe space, not a battleground. When a man is emotionally open, he doesn't pretend everything is fine when it's not. He doesn't push her away or shut down when he's struggling. Instead, he lets her in. He shares his worries, his dreams, and even his insecurities. He might not always know the right words, but the fact that he's trying to connect on that deeper level shows how much he values the bond they share. That kind of openness isn't easy, especially for someone who has been hurt before or has learned to protect himself. So when he does it, it's meaningful. This vulnerability also creates space for emotional intimacy. It's not just about physical closeness or spending time together. It's about truly knowing each other. A serious man wants his partner to understand not just the parts of him that are easy to love, but also the parts that are raw, unpolished, or complicated. And in return, he wants to understand her in the same way. That mutual emotional transparency is what transforms a relationship from something casual into something deeply rooted. A man who is serious will also show empathy. He listens without judgment. When she's hurting, he doesn't dismiss her feelings or try to fix her everything immediately. Instead, he sits with her in those moments, lets her express herself, and offers his support. His emotional availability goes both ways. He's not only willing to be vulnerable himself, but he's also willing to receive her vulnerability with care. He doesn't view her emotions as too much or too complicated. He respects her emotional world just as much as he wants his to be respected. Being vulnerable also means admitting mistakes and apologizing when necessary. A serious man won't let his pride get in the way of love. If he hurts her, even unintentionally, he's willing to own it and make it right. He doesn't avoid accountability. He embraces it because he understands that a strong relationship isn't built on perfection, but on honesty, growth, and mutual respect. Vulnerability creates the space for healing and progress, and a man who is committed to the relationship isn't afraid to go there. Over time, this emotional openness strengthens the bond between them. She knows she can trust him not just with her body, but with her heart, and he knows the same. They become each other's safe place, not because everything is always easy, but because they've created a connection that's built on truth, compassion, and courage. When a man shows that level of vulnerability, it's not a sign of weakness, it's one of the clearest signs of love. Because only someone who is truly serious about a woman will let her see the parts of himself that the rest of the world never gets to see.